Today on Pro Church Daily, we're talking about how much time each generation spends on social media. It might not be what you expect.
Well, hey there, and welcome to Pro Church Daily, the show where in 10 minutes or less, you'll get your daily dose of tips and tactics to help your church share the message of Jesus while we navigate the biggest communication shift we've seen in the last 500 years. I'm your host, Alex Mills, and I'm joined, as always, by the boss man, Brady Shearer. Today, we're going to talk about which generation spends the most time on social media.
Millennials, right?
Right.
That would be the common perspective that most people have.
Naturally.
We grew up as digital natives. We grew up with Facebook. I remember transitioning to Facebook from MySpace.
Yep.
I was an early adopter. People said it couldn't be done. I said, we've got to try. And I transitioned to Facebook. There's this report that came out from Nielsen, and it has all of the data broken down per generation, how much time that each generation is spending on social media. And
It's got to be millennials.
the results are pretty fascinating. So let's start with millennials. How much time per week does the average adult age 18 to 35 spend on social? 6 hours and 19 minutes on average per week. That sounds like a lot. Here's where things get really interesting. Gen X, those that are aged 36 to 49 in this study, spend 39 minutes more per week on social media compared to millennials. And the overall time for that is 6 hours and 58 minutes. So we've got 6 hours and 58 minutes for Gen X, 6 hours and 19 minutes for millennials. And even for those that are 50 and over, we're talking the boomer generation, adults 50 plus, on average, 4 hours and 9 minutes on social media each week. And yeah, that's considerably less than both Gen X and millennials, about 33%, about a third less. But for those 50 plus, more than 4 hours each week. And if you think that the average church service is right around an hour, maybe a little bit more, that means that even the oldest people in your demographic, in your community, in your congregation, on average, are spending about 4 times as much time on social than they are in a church service.
Wow.
And that's assuming they attend every week,
Right.
which is just not the case nowadays. In 2018, we're seeing on average, maybe every other week and one out of every 2.5 weeks that the average family attends. It's like the average family has 2.5 kids. The average family is also attending church one out of every 2.5 weekends. And so if you just start at that basic fact, the average person in your community, old, young, millennial, 4 to 6 times as much time on social media than in a church service. And so from a basic attention standpoint, it becomes imperative on us to focus our areas, focus our attention, focus our resources on where people are spending their time. And it simply comes down to social.
So it's no longer a conversation about, it's just these young kids and their phones, their iPads, they're always connected, this and that. It's everyone. Everyone in your church is spending more time on social media on their devices than they are at church. So we have this opportunity as churches, we have this opportunity to communicate with them where they're at during the week.
I think the bigger discussion here is that it's imperative on us as church leaders to really know what's actually happening.
Yeah.
If we as church leaders, as pastors, as ministers of the gospel are really just tuned into this idea of sharing the message of Jesus with the world, we have to understand how people are communicating. And it's imperative on us to understand the data, understand the facts, and not just assume that things are one way or another,
Right.
Not just assume based on anecdotal evidence that if you're young, you're probably on social way more.
Yeah.
Because that's what we would all assume, right? Like, even before I saw this data, the reason that I made note of it, the reason we're spending an episode of Pro Church Daily on this data is because it's surprising. It's unexpected. We expect young people who are native to digital, to mobile, to social, grown up with this, to just naturally be on it way more.
Right.
Interestingly, it's not the case.
Wow.
We are seeing this generational disconnect with those that are 50 plus, that were completely removed, that spent much of their adult lives up until this point without social.
Yeah.
So there is a generational disconnect there, but there's this in-between group, this Gen X, this 36 to 49 that, sure, when they were in high school and college, they didn't have social and digital, but they were still young enough that they were able to pick it up.
Right.
And, like when I think about, this is purely anecdotal, this is just me guessing, and so this doesn't have data to back it up, but if I think about the time of like the lifespan that a millennial is in right now versus a Gen X. If you're a millennial, you are in your early 20s, your late 20s, your early 30s. You're just getting your first home. You're having your first kid. You're figuring out your career. It's a very, very busy time.
It is.
Whereas for those that are, 35 to 50, maybe things are a little bit more established.
Yeah.
At least ideally they are. And maybe you have a little bit more free time. Your income's a little bit higher, so you're not doing that side hustle thing that's,
Right.
such apropos to millennials. And it's just interesting.
Yeah, makes sense for sure.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Pro Church Daily. But before we go, we wanted to tell you about StoryTape. Speaking of social, the most dominant form of content on social media is video.
Yeah.
The problem is that video is difficult. And so we launched this platform called storytape.com where you can download unlimited stock video to create videos for your church. Video takes a lot of money. We spent more than $100,000 on video gear in 2017. Do I have a problem? Perhaps. But that problem is not a problem for you because we are able to use that gear to create amazing videos. Within our catalog, we've got more than 6,000 stock video clips already, and we're doing something special for the month of January. If you go to storytape.com and you use the coupon code DAILY when you're signing up for the StoryTape Unlimited plan, the Unlimited plan, we're going to give you 10% off your subscription forever, and we're also going to throw in 25 video templates made within After Effects for you to use on social media, within your church services, and now you've got attention both within your weekend experience and online on social.
And they're perfect for social.
Yeah, a lot of them, more than half, are made with a 1:1 aspect ratio, square, which means it takes up more space on your mobile device. You'll have the templates, you'll have the footage. The templates are a free bonus.
Awesome.
And 10% off your subscription forever at storytape.com, video made easy. Go ahead over there, storytape.com, sign up, and we'll see you on the next episode tomorrow. Pro Church Daily. And thanks so much for watching this episode of Pro Church Daily. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get new videos like this one every single day.
And if you like this video, it'd mean the world to us if you go ahead and give it a thumbs up.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.